That could be very interesting. For me, I agree with the Roman sentiment. It's somewhat of the Cena dynamic. Very interesting. And what I mean by that, especially I agree with the Roman like the girls sentiment. Like you hear that high Cena dynamic. Very interesting. What I mean by that, especially then you hear the negative kids Roman like the girls sentiment. Like you hear that high Cena dynamic. Very interesting. What I mean by that, especially then you hear the negative kids Roman the girls sentiment. You hear that high
What is going on? I have no idea why they started playing. We are going live with WWE Fast Lane. I have no idea. Apparently, the Table for Three or Network for Three, whatever that show is, started playing. Oh, crap. I got to send Dank a message. Dank, it should be on my second channel. I just started a live stream, though. I'll have to send it to you afterwards. I have to get my boy Dank something. Yeah, I can't sign out of this YouTube channel to check it. Dank, I'll get that in a second, guys. We're going to be talking WWE Fast Lane. We're going to do these matches. Let's start this one up. I think we're simming this match, so we're not too worried about it. Start this bad boy up. What's up, JD? What's up, Jack? What's up, Jordan? What's up, Riley? Actually, I might be able to still get Dank the trailer from my phone. Let me see if I can copy the link for the phone. I got to get it for the boy, Brooke Danger. We got to see where Brooke's at. Let me get this really fast. Give me 1 second, guys. Well, this is booting up as we're going to be talking Fast Lane. One of the matches, there's really nothing to talk about in this match. It was just kind of like thrown together. I have no problem with it getting thrown together. I know some people are like, sleeping on this match. They really don't care about it. Storyline-wise, I get it, man. I wouldn't. Storyline-wise, there's nothing to sink your teeth into this match, which is kind of a bummer. But, again, as performers, I'm just glad they're on the show and they actually get an opportunity to perform. But storyline-wise, I don't care about this match. But let me just get my boy Chris Danker something really fast. At least let me try. So this match, we have Becky Lynch. I don't even think we need to talk about it. I'm not too worried about talking about it. It's not something that I think is high on my list of matches. I think it's Becky and Naomi taking on Natalya and Carmella. Again, like all four of these women, I still hope Becky Lynch wins the title at Mania. And we're going to talk about Ruby Riott and Charlotte and kind of throw out an opportunity to say, hey, what if we let Ruby Riott win the title? I don't know. Obviously, you kind of stack the deck against Charlotte because Charlotte's going to face Asuka or somebody else. You want Charlotte to look as dominant as possible in the WWE. But if there was a swerve, man, and we got Ruby Riott and we got a 6-woman match at Mania to get all the women from SmackDown on the show, and then not only that, but we also got Charlotte versus Asuka non-title, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. That's probably dumb because I want I want Charlotte to have that title. But just trying to get as many people on the show, I think that'd be cool. Unless they did no, Carmella's already Mrs. Money in the Bank. I was going to say they could do something like that. Whether or not she cashes in. Just trying to get Dank a link here really fast before we get going here. I'm going to be checking Twitter in the chats. I am on live on Twitch and YouTube, so whichever you prefer. They got Twitch on the left screen that I'm watching, and then YouTube predictions on the right. Just got to get this link to Dank. Let me see if I can find it. Full teaser. Come on, where you at? I know this teaser's here somewhere. Got to get my boy Dank this thing. I can't wait to see what it looks like, to be honest. I'm really excited to see where we go with this. All right, we'll skip that for now. Naomi. Gotta love that entrance. There's a lot of talented women in WWE, man. There's a lot of choices. That's what you mean. Yeah, the Royal Rumble. That's a long time ago. My dog. Hey. My dog's trying to chew the Roode Mike Cat thing attachment on the front. There's a lot of matches to talk about, man. So let's take a look. The card on the show today is AJ Styles, John Cena, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. You have Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton. You have the Usos versus the New Day, which is a match. To be honest with you, they always tear down the house. I'm a little surprised that they went hot for these two tag teams all year, and then they kind of cooled them off for a while, and then giving other people shots. But then now that we're right back here before Mania, which if WrestleMania is the culmination of the year, you would have to have New Day versus the Usos, right? Like, who drops the titles here? Do the Usos drop them? I don't think so. I think the Usos are the biggest, baddest dogs on the yard. I'm hoping the Usos face somebody like Authors of Pain. Although to get somebody up from NXT there to now, I don't think they would do that. So you have, who do you have on the main roster for SmackDown for tag teams? You have the Ascension, you have the Bludgeon Brothers. You can do a multi-person tag team match, so that's something we're going to talk about a little bit later on when that's on. We have Charlotte versus Ruby Riott with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, so we have the deck stacked against Charlotte 3-on-1. You have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev with Aiden English, and then, of course, the tag team match that we're watching on screen now with Mrs. Money in the Bank, Carmella. I'll get to your comments in a second. I'm looking at Wikipedia right now just to read down this card really fast. The Nakamura match came when Nakamura, if you don't watch SmackDown, Nakamura took out Aiden English. It was a match between, this is what if I'm watching a TV show, like I said, maybe you did like the writing, maybe you don't like Road Dogg, but the actual writing on TV, you know, like my boy Macho said, my boy Macho is 100% right. Like, hey, I want Nakamura Styles. If that's the match of getting WrestleMania, that should be building the entire time. My counter to that was, hey, you know, we got to stack the deck against AJ Styles first, is what we got to do. We got to make AJ Styles earn this, because if he's the top dog, and this goes back to when Jinder Mahal faced Nakamura, I was like, you don't want Nakamura to beat Jinder Mahal. You don't. Because that's like a empty championship win, because nobody considered Jinder Mahal a champion. A bunch of people didn't consider Jinder Mahal like a true champion. So Nakamura beating him isn't the thing. And I tweeted out back in September, no. What I see happening back in September was you have Nakamura lose to Jinder Mahal, and then you have Jinder Mahal drop the title eventually to Styles. Styles has the championship. He is the house that AJ Styles built, which is SmackDown, and then AJ can crumble that. But before you get to that, AJ has been going up against 2-on-1s with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, the prize fighter. They've been doing their gimmicks, trying to stack the deck completely against him in a way. Now you have a 6-on-1, and you have this weird writing on SmackDown, which I like the writing. I know a lot of people think it's dumb, stupid, maybe they can't get behind it. I like the writing with what they're doing with Daniel and Shane and everything, because AJ earned Shane's respect, I think. I think we're at that point where he recognizes he's the face, but he's got to stack the deck, because he knows what a challenge Nakamura is, right? We're hearing rumors of Dolph Ziggler versus Shane. Like, I don't want to get into that stuff. But when you look at what AJ Styles is doing, like this match right here, very good chance AJ Styles walks out as champion, and I want him to. I want AJ Styles to leave as champion, because AJ Styles, for Nakamura to beat him, you want AJ to look like a god. You want him to constantly win. Now, he did lose to Big Match John, but that goes back to Nakamura versus Styles, because Nakamura faced John Cena, and Nakamura beat Cena on free TV. But then Big Match John beat Styles, which is like a level up. So if you look at it like, oh, Big Match John beat Nakamura. And then you have this thing where AJ Styles is still champion. It doesn't really matter. You have Baron Corbin, which, to be honest with you, man, I love Baron Corbin. Yeah, I've been saying this since Austin Aries days. And the fact that his theme song is so over, if you watch the theme song tournament with my boy CM Pulse, who he's going to have a great live show tonight. I highly suggest, if you're watching the pay-per-view tonight, there is not a better live watching experience than with my boy CM Pulse. So I highly suggest you watch that in his live party. Let me go ahead and look at some of these comments now. What's up, Jimmy? What's up, Joe? As far as the matches go, let me take a look at what my predictions would be as we get into the show. If I was judging solely based on what I would hope for, like what my dream card is, not like what I actually think is going to happen, but like what if I was looking at this and went, if the writer, as a writer, hashtag as a writer, I would hope John Cena wins. I would hope John Cena wins. And the reason I do that is because I want AJ Styles to earn that match. I want AJ Styles to come out on Tuesday and go, no, God damn it, I wanted AJ Styles versus Nakamura. That's the match I want. Nakamura beat me in New Japan. I'm beating his ass in the WWE, John. I'm not waiting until Mania. I want my rematch tonight. And then I want AJ Styles rematch versus John Cena on free TV, on SmackDown, a 30-minute plus match where they go to war and AJ Styles wins the title back. And then John is in this despair of, oh, shit. Like, because it teases John Cena versus Taker for the title. That's what I want. That's like what, if I was writing, like, that's what I would hope would happen. Styles still gets the title back. Styles still get, because Nakamura's in there too. Nakamura's like, this is bullshit. John, I want Styles, not you. So then you could have Taker come out with a gong. Oh, a hot tag, nice. And then I still have Nakamura Styles. But then you can have Cena versus Taker, where Cena still gets his title, he ties the reign, but then Undertaker could retire him so he can never beat it. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm thinking a little crazy there. Same, AJ Styles winning the title would be cool, but then Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, prize fighter. That is a big storyline in WWE. Best friends. That's a huge storyline. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens going back to the NXT days. Kevin Owens came in and took out Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn had a hell of a match with Nakamura. I would love to see Nakamura versus, like, if Kevin Owens got shafted and he didn't get in the main event, but Sami Zayn versus Nakamura 2 happened from NXT, that would be a thing. As Becky Lynch taps out Natalya, so Naomi and Becky Lynch pick up the victory. Becky Lynch, who is my hope. That's why I want a multi-woman match at WrestleMania, because I want Becky Lynch to get her moment. Everybody else has had their moment now. Charlotte's had her moment. Bayley's had her moment. It's time Becky Lynch gets her WrestleMania moment, and that's why I want a multi-man match. Multi-woman, sorry. So in that match, anything can happen. The only thing I do not think is happening is Baron Corbin winning. If Baron Corbin wins, my boy, we're gonna have some issues. That's Baron. I love you to death, but you ain't winning the title tonight. It's just not happening. It can't happen. There's no way. This is not my gimmick. Bring back story mode. I wish we could have story mode too, man. It's not me. That's great booking. See, like that's I still want that. I would still like that to happen, right? Because it gets Cena, it ties Cena at his title, but we still get Nakamura Styles. Because when I talk about, like, as a writer, and I get mocked by those guys on TV, on the actual TV show, Nakamura beat Cena, and that's when I put out this spoiler thing, and then AJ couldn't. See what I mean? Like, so Cena's very rare occasions on SmackDown have been used strategically to put people over. And that's like another level. That's like, oh, you beat Cena, Nakamura beat Cena, but Styles couldn't. But then in the 6-man, he found a way to win. So that's how I would do it. That's just me personally. I wouldn't have Cena take the title because I think they don't necessarily need the title. And likewise, I don't think Styles versus Nakamura needs a title. But I want it for the title, if that makes sense, because Johnny from New Legacy would just eat into my shit if I said that Nakamura winning and not getting a title match is actually kind of cool. I joke about this, but I think it would be cool if the Royal Rumble winner got any match they wanted. Like, I want him to have the title match, the main event, whatever, but I think it would be cool, personally, if the Royal Rumble winner got anything they desired. Whether it was a title match or maybe they have a feud and maybe somebody won't face him, like Cena wins the Rumble and he can challenge Taker, or like, you know, Braun Strowman wants a 1 versus everybody gauntlet match. Whatever, you know. Make your dreams come true. Let me go ahead and set up the next match. Let's do Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton, because I think this should be a good match. So I want to hear your comments, guys. Who do you think is going to win? Is it my boy Bobby Roode, or is it Randy Orton? Who's taking the W here? Let me make sure. I'm going to sim this one. I don't really need to play this one. So let's do Bobby Roode. And unfortunately, we can't do the 6-man because it's an elimination. As I'm going to pull up the comments in 1 second. So Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton. Let's throw this match in here. Randy, where you at, Randy? Randy Orton. Yeah, there's Randy Orton. All right, let's throw this at FastLane. Make sure we get this. What's up, Kevin? Welcome back, man. Baron or Dolph needs to win. I wouldn't be against it. Like, Dolph winning, like, a lot of people are, like, pissed off about Dolph's build. It doesn't make sense. But the same thing I would say to you is Dolph coming out and constantly losing matches doesn't make sense either. So this is the first time, whether you like it or not, Dolph has finally done something different. And he recently said in an interview he wanted some time off, but they gave him 4 weeks. So, like, when he won the Rumble, left the Rumble, did whatever, he wanted time off, but they gave him 4 weeks, and that was it. I like what Dolph is doing because it's different, right? Like, if you're not going to be used or if you're going to take losses on the card, just don't show up. You know? Like, make it a little more unique. Make it a little different. Let me throw a finisher on him. FastLane, and then we'll throw the title on. I think we have the United States Championship properly on Bobby Roode. It's on Randy. Oh, well. All right, it's backwards. Bobby going to win. So Joe says Bobby's going to win. The match is an elimination, but in WWE 2K18, you can't have a 6-man single fall. It's like a ladder match, or I could do a battle royale with eliminations. Asher, I want Baron Corbin to win, man. I don't know what you're looking at, man. I don't know. I want it. I like Baron Corbin, but I just don't see him getting the title right now. Logically, I can see Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn winning. That would be awesome. I love the fact that Kevin Owens is trolling with a tape study footage of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. I think that's awesome. I love that. Before the stream started, I was trying to find my KO Mania shirt. Instead, I'm wearing the Too Sweet shirt from the Young Bucks from the Wrestle Crate from years ago. I wanted the KO Mania 2 shirt on for this video, but unfortunately, I didn't have it. What's up, Cody? How you doing? If I looked at this card, like I said, so let's go down. I broke down what I wanted to happen in that 6-person match, right? Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton. What do I want to have happen? If I wanted this to happen, if I was writing it, what could I say? I would have Randy Orton win here. I would have Randy Orton win. That's what I would do. I would have Randy Orton win. Does that feud carry over, though? I don't know. Because I think this is like an evolution thing. I think this is Randy grooming him. I think Bobby is one of the futures of SmackDown. And I don't think there's going to be a better performer at WrestleMania to get into the hearts and minds of people that are longtime WWE fans that maybe only watch at WrestleMania, that know who Randy Orton is, that could help Bobby. So like Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode. Okay, that's one thing. Maybe. Likewise, I could 100% see a 6-man United States Championship ladder match. This could be the year we get a ladder match for the SmackDown title, because the IC title is caught up. We have Miz, Finn Balor. So you have, those matches going on with all 3 of those guys, with Rollins, Balor, and Miz. So you could have a 6-person ladder match. Carmella should cash in. I would be fine with that, Bradley. Carmella should cash in. Charlotte is hot getting the title. Because, again, I don't think I want the title. Obviously, like Streak versus title, that's a big selling money storyline. But I also don't want Asuka to win the title yet. Asuka's streak, to me, is more marketable without the title. Because once she gets that title, and it goes back to the CM Punk thing, if you're sick of Charlotte winning the title now, well, imagine Asuka constantly winning every single pay-per-view. So I think Asuka staying away from the title, at least to me, would make the most sense. On paper, it probably makes more sense to have Charlotte with the title versus Asuka at WrestleMania, because no shit. But like, to me, I would hope Asuka would stay away from the title. And maybe we give Asuka the title at SummerSlam, which makes no sense. Somebody's like, W, win the Royal Rumble, especially the first inaugural Women's Royal Rumble. You should get a title match. Just shut up, Tubby. Stop being stupid. This is WWE history, which is true. But this is the 1 year with Asuka's streak. Going back to NXT, is you knew Asuka was going to win. And that wasn't bad. There's nothing wrong with that. The way she did win against, like, Ember Moon, or she beat Nia Jax, or it was a creative way. I love the way that just at the last pay-per-view, Nia Jax versus Asuka went. It showed her as vulnerable. But I don't know if she needs to be facing for the title, man. Like, will someone cost Cena? Rumors of Taker, right? There's rumors of Taker, at least according to the reports. I don't know what the reports are coming from, because the reports are also saying Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, which, again, that wouldn't be the worst thing. They're just destined to be fighting each other forever. Asuka pinning Carmella because Carmella's going to try to do the Seth Rollins and cash in on Asuka versus Charlotte and make it a triple threat. They very well could do that. That is a good point. Live. That is a great point. You could do the Carmella cashing in at WrestleMania, and that preserves Asuka versus Charlotte for maybe another pay-per-view. That's a good thinking, man. That's a great suggestion. Doing the Seth Rollins but then failing. And Carmella is in that situation where she's held it, she finally cashes in, and she's the one that takes the L because she saves the streak versus the title. That would be great. That would be great. I can dig that. Mark, thanks for the host, my man. I appreciate it. Twitch. We're on Twitch and YouTube, by the way, so if you're watching on Twitch, if you prefer to watch on YouTube, come over to YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm also live on Twitch as well. I don't want Cena versus Taker. Taker's match at Mania last year was rough. I would be fine if Taker was retired. I've said this time and time again. I would prefer if Taker put down his stuff and we got an American badass Undertaker. That's what I would hope for. If this is possibly Taker's last year, riding into WrestleMania, I want the American badass Undertaker. I want to hear rolling, rolling, rolling. I want him to come down on his motorcycle, chopped up, fully decked out, ready to go. That's what I want from Taker. If we get Taker versus Cena, I don't want Dead Man Undertaker because that character was retired. In my eyes, Undertaker and Roman Reigns put the Reaper to bed. Taker put the Reaper to bed at Raw 25. If Taker never wrestled again, I would be fine with it. If he does wrestle, I want the American badass. That's just me personally. That's just me personally, if I'm being 100% honest. Now, the title is obviously backwards on this one. We know Bobby Roode's the champion. Zayn versus Owens. Again, I don't think WWE can really do anything wrong here. I want to ask the chat, would you be upset if we got Nakamura Styles without a title? Right? Like, my own booking going back to September had AJ Styles, the champion, going into WrestleMania with Nakamura chasing it, where you stack the deck against Styles. It's exactly what they're doing now. But to somebody like Macho, who's watching the show, he would prefer if we had Nakamura Styles build the entire time versus waiting until after FastLane tonight and then getting 3 weeks of Nakamura Styles, which again is fine. That makes sense. If it's the culmination of WrestleMania. But then you get into that situation where then is WWE booking tag teams? Is WWE booking, I look at it as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Styles on TV made it seem like they were legit challengers, when really it was about friendship and really Shane and Daniel kind of stacking the deck against AJ Styles to prove AJ Styles was the champ that runs the camp. He's the face that runs the place. He's the guy that SmackDown should be built upon. Either way, AJ Styles is done on SmackDown. This is going to be my bold prediction here going into Fastlane tonight. This is AJ Styles' second to last pay-per-view as a member of SmackDown Live. Maybe he does some more pay-per-views. But I 100% see AJ Styles, if we get Nakamura versus Styles, I see him passing the torch to Nakamura to carry the show. And I see AJ Styles coming home. I see AJ Styles coming home to Raw and possibly getting us AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns within the first 6 months after WrestleMania. If Roman Reigns wins. That's what I predict. That's what I see. I see them going back to when Roman versus AJ happened before, but I said there was no reason for AJ Styles to beat Roman Reigns because in WWE mythology or WWE lore, WWE storytelling, AJ was nobody at that point. But AJ going up against Nakamura, maybe beating him, maybe there's a transfer, maybe whatever, would be awesome. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see AJ Styles come back home. And then I'd like to see a guy like Seth Rollins or Finn Balor head over to SmackDown. I want to see them carry the show. I want AJ Styles because of Raw 25, where he's there with Mean Gene Okerlund. I think AJ Styles has that mainstream appeal. I think WWE should do that. You use Seth Rollins or Finn Balor, swap spots with them. Give me Styles on Monday Night Raw. But this whole build has made Styles seemingly do this. He threw out a match. He's like, I'll face Owens and Sami Zayn same night. But then it was made a 2-on-1 handicap. He's like, no. I said I would face it, but I wanted him back to back. But then 2-on-1, he still beat him. Tonight, there's a 5-pack. It was a 5-pack challenge, but then Cena beat him. It's a 6-pack challenge now. When AJ Styles leaves his champion and he escapes, he looks even stronger. This is why Nakamura lost to Jinder. Because again, WWE, like going back to the Jack Swagger days, or when a guy wins the title, if he's not booked properly or it's not believable, the championship win doesn't mean as much. So hopefully all the people that when I was booking as a writer Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal last year understand that now. Hopefully that if AJ Styles is looking this damn good and Nakamura comes in and beats him, Nakamura is kind of a champ, just in my opinion. And Nakamura working with Rusev and Aiden English is even better because Nakamura is already the Rumble winner, right? Rusev already over. You listen to podcasts and you hear Randy Orton put over a guy like Aiden English. Like, Aiden English is the future, he says. Love Aiden English. Randy puts him over. So you work together with Rusev. I still can't wait for the day we get Rusev and Aiden English. What day is it? And Aiden goes to sing, and then Aiden clocks Rusev, and we get Rusev versus Aiden English. Hopefully. That's where I see it going. At least to me personally. Double A, thanks for the host, man. I really appreciate it. What's the deal with all these old rookies, and a lot of these guys aren't much younger than Cena, right? Like, a lot of these guys from WWE, like Bobby Roode, Nakamura, they're older talent. They are. But they're established, and I don't think necessarily age really has to matter. Because those aren't the guys getting hurt. I don't exactly know, like... I was still hoping for Triple H versus Braun Strowman, to be honest with you. That's just me personally. Like, the mixed tag is cool and all. Let's see. Lesnar isn't on the card after Mania, says PJ. True. At least not yet. People seem to think AJ Styles and Seth Rollins are switching shows, but I think Styles is staying on SmackDown and Rollins is staying on Raw because Reigns is bringing the title to SmackDown. So you think he's bringing the title over. Does that mean Nakamura is coming to Raw then? I would be okay with that. That would be fine with me. I would love to see him switch titles like that. Could you imagine? Oh my God. You already have people that claim the Road Dogg excuse, which I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. Whether you like it or not, I don't put the blame on Road Dogg. And that's going to be, people are going to mock that. But it's like, if you give Roman Reigns and Road Dogg a paired up on the same show, the excuses or the people that, call it out, oh my God. You already have to worry about people claiming Road Dogg, and then you give them Roman Reigns on the champion too, and just watch him dominate. What's up, Seth? It'll never go. The belt is red. All right, yeah. I don't see that belt necessarily changing. Like with a Universal title, actually, the Universal title as a name, now that the pay-per-views are dual branded, I would be fine with that. Like, I would be fine with one champion that could go between the shows, kind of like a free agent. I think it would be a booking nightmare. I think it would be hard, but I would 100% be okay with that. Like where the Universal Champion could show up so we could get dream matches. Like we could get, like if Styles came over to Raw and won it, but then we can get Styles versus Nakamura rematch. Or, you know what I mean? Like where they could switch shows. That would be cool. Where it's not brand, or the tag team titles, I mean. The tag team titles would be a great example where if the SmackDown, roster isn't is pumped up, and you could get those tag teams that go back and forth, like back in the day with Show Miz or Jericho, where you could get that back and forth. I think that would be cool. Just me personally. That's what I think would be cool. As Bobby, the perfect play, is he gonna get it? And there it is. Bobby Roode is your winner. He didn't use the glorious DDT, he used the fisherman suplex. Randy Orton drops his title. Well, Randy Orton wasn't champion. In game, Randy Orton was the champion. You gotta think here. Give the Universal Championship to Roman, let AJ drop the title, whoever wins tonight, and let Styles come to Raw and then have Roman versus AJ Styles. Exactly. That's I could see that happening. But you need somebody to fill AJ Styles' shoes on SmackDown. You need somebody that stands out. You need somebody that's there to really fill the shoes. And I think on SmackDown, Braun Strowman, oh my God. I don't think Raw would ever give up Braun Strowman. Especially with Raw being 3 hours, I would never give up Braun Strowman. But if Braun Strowman went to SmackDown, you could have Bobby Roode, Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins. Put them all over on SmackDown, man. That would be sweet. That would be Braun, Seth, maybe Finn. I don't know. because Raw has got 6 believable people for champion, because they all have rematches. They were all former champions, like Finn, Seth, KO on Raw. That could really kind of carry stuff. So let's go ahead and set up the next match. Let's do Nakamura Rusev. So let's put up Nakamura versus Rusev. So let's throw up, make sure I'm CPU. Let's throw in Rusev. My 8 in English, by the way. I love that. Superstars. And I like the Lana Rusev thing for the Mixed Challenge. You guys see, they've been training. They've been training together. And he's been making her eat steak and stuff. It's been pretty funny. All right, calm. And then let's do Nakamura on Nakamura's got to be on this side. What other side would it be, Tubby? Let me put where's Shinsuke? I always mess this up. Is he in the N's or is he in the S's? Yeah, he's in the S's. There we go. So let's put Nakamura there, and let's put this at FastLane just to make sure we're at the right pay-per-view. Pulse is doing a live reaction, with the best live reaction show in the business. Highly recommend you watch Pulse tonight. I don't think I'm streaming during the pay-per-view, although this is the one that I think this is one I'd actually like to do, to be honest with you. As we hit save, let's put the momentum on normal and start this up. So here we go. We have Rusev versus Nakamura up next. What do you guys think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win? Nakamura, right? Obviously Nakamura. I still think you got to make Rusev and Aiden English look good. Rusev is more over by not winning. Rusev doesn't have a title, and he's getting over. This is like when people say, like, when somebody gets over, they have to have the title. Do they? I'm cheering for Rusev without a title. I love Aiden English without a title. Man, Bobby Roode versus Rusev. Bobby Roode versus Rusev at WrestleMania. Bobby Roode, Rusev. Would that make sense? Yes. 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 The entrances. As Bobby Roode gets a glorious entrance, Aiden English sings Rusev on the way to the ring. Give me Rusev versus Bobby Roode at WrestleMania. I know I said I wanted Randy versus Bobby Roode, but just for the sheer entrances, give me Rusev and Aiden English versus Bobby Roode. Give me the glorious entrance, followed by Rusev Day. Yes, give me that. Give me that match. Yes. Okay, that's my hope. That's my personal hope. That's my, as a fan, hope. That's not as a writer or, you know, as somebody that watches the show. That's my personal hope. I want Rusev versus Bobby Roode for the U.S. title. Aiden sings Rusev in a tank. For coming down and Aiden English is in a tank singing Rusev Day. Oh my gosh. Right? That'd be sick. Yeah. I want to see that happen. Do I think Bobby Roode will still be champion, asks BJ. I could have said this is if I had to pick a year where the former champions dropped to the mid-card, I would have said if Miz versus Finn versus Seth hadn't been announced, I was personally hoping for John Cena versus The Miz at WrestleMania for the IC title. And I was also personally hoping Randy Orton for the mid-card title because it signifies that transfer. Because if you remember, John Cena and Randy fought for the first ever title when they combined them. They've always been the guy to carry SmackDown. They've always been the guy to carry Raw. One's been on the A+ show. One's been on the B+ show. They've been in sync. And now the fact that they're both at the bottom versus the guys that NXT helped create are fighting for the titles, that's a big deal. Roman was created in NXT, whether you want to believe it or not. Whether you like Roman or you don't like it. Styles is on his own, but Nakamura, who was on his own, came into NXT and is known by the NXT crowd, loves him. I don't think you can get a bad match, man. I really don't. I see Styles winning tonight. I see Nakamura facing him. I see Nakamura toppling the house that AJ Styles built in my head. But part of me is like, dude, did you see Shinsuke versus Sami Zayn? I want to see that match again. And I think this is where we're at in WWE now, and this is why I can't be so negative. This is why I can't, if the weekly show isn't as good, I can't really complain that much, because, like, well, okay, maybe the weekly show isn't that good. Okay, we don't have to put up with it, right? I can claim stocks, business, whatever, but, like, at the end of the day, we have all these possibilities for matchups that if, when, or however they write some compelling TV, I'm excited for this. Because just like Styles, Cesaro, like, do you remember the 2 out of 3 falls match with Cesaro? Saying, like, there's a lot of great stuff they could do. You could have best friends, man. Main event is your favorite WWE show. Nakamura Styles would be great at Mania. They've got the history from New Japan. It's got everything worthy of a match. It has all the feelings of the main event. It's the main event I want to see. Like, if I had to pick SmackDown to represent the 2 biggest guys on SmackDown, you're absolutely right, I do those guys. 100%. But in my head, I still want to swerve, man. I still want, like, Nakamura to go, I want Styles. I want this to be the first year that Nakamura chooses Styles and doesn't go for a title. Which, it sounds stupid, I get it. Tubby, just shut up. Nakamura deserves the title. He absolutely does. But in my head, I want the prize fighter more. If I had to choose between Nakamura Styles versus... Could you guys do that? Could you choose between Nakamura Styles or Sami Zayn versus KO for the title? If you could only choose one, the dream match, Nakamura Styles, the blow-off match, WrestleMania, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, for the title, everything on the line, KO Mania 3, prize fighter. I don't know if I could. I want both of them. And that's why tonight is so awesome. Even if we know Styles is going to win, like everybody like said at the pay-per-view, Roman was going to win the Elimination Chamber. He did. But Braun looked great. Styles tonight probably absolutely does retain. But man, a KO versus Zayn? Tell me, where and when do you see Nakamura reigns? I would want to get Nakamura reigns. I want Roman Reigns to lose to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I want Roman Reigns to get traded to SmackDown. I want Roman Reigns versus Nakamura. I want Roman Reigns to fall even farther down the pedestal and lose to Nakamura, just like AJ Styles lost to Roman Reigns. If I'm being completely honest, that's what I want. I want Roman Reigns to get his ass handed to him by Brock Lesnar. I want Roman Reigns to immediately come to SmackDown. I want him to immediately get a title shot against him, just like AJ Styles got back in 2016. And then I want him to get his ass kicked. I want Styles to beat him this time. I want Nakamura to win, whoever's the champion. And then I want Roman Reigns to go on this heel course, like a true heel. After everything he was built up for, he loses, he does all this, he comes over. He's now in that position of guys that are just getting thrown against Roman, and he can't handle it. That's what I would want, man. There's going to be a kickoff match. Is there a kickoff match for Fastlane? I have no idea. Because it seems right now like Fastlane seems like a 2-hour NXT show right now is what it looks like. You have you only have 6 matches announced. Do they have a pre-show? Let me take a look. Has WWE announced or teased anything on their social media channels about some sort of a pre-show? Have they said anybody is facing? I'm trying to look. I don't see anything teased. Maybe the tag match is on the pre-show. Yeah, I can't find it. So I right now, as of now, I don't see anything on the pre-show. If it was me, I would probably throw like maybe Bludgeon Brothers versus Rhino and Heath Slater. Or yeah, I don't know who I do on the pre-show. I'm not 100% sure. Nakamura Zayn WWE title at Backlash. See? You can call back to history. You could do stuff like that. That's why I can't be that negative WWE. Even if the writing now isn't as good, I see all the performers getting more over than ever. I see Rusev nowhere near a title, and yet everybody's chanting for Rusev. Even if on TV he's maybe not be written the best, according to some people, he's still getting cheered. He's more over than a lot of people on the roster. You know, Nakamura is kind of looking like a jabroni a little bit. He was fighting Randy Orton. He was doing his gimmick. He has yet to really make a statement towards the Royal Rumble winner. But again, with pay-per-views in the middle, it's kind of hard to go straight into Styles Nakamura. Because if you do that, then you make FastLane a pointless pay-per-view. You see, like, you're in a weird spot where either you start to build Styles Nakamura and you invest in weeks of TV time, or you do the way they did it where they had Nakamura versus Randy, and then you had Rusev versus Nakamura, and you kind of keep everybody busy. Nakamura is going up against the most over guy on SmackDown right now, at least cheer-wise, chant-wise, in Rusev. Even though Styles is top dog, and like, if I had to put them next to each other, obviously Styles would be more than Rusev. But like when Rusev, if it was ringside, if you haven't been watching SmackDown, Aiden English versus Nakamura happened, and Rusev laid a vicious kick on Nakamura, and the crowd chanted for him. And that's like, when you can kick Nakamura, the Royal Rumble winner, the guy people wanted to have, and it popped him at SmackDown, instead of like a boo, that just makes me excited. That's why I want Rusev versus Bobby Roode at WrestleMania. That would be sweet. I think if Reigns wins, then Sammy goes to Raw. Sammy the underdog versus Reigns the big dog. This tagline is interesting and catches my attention. Yeah. To me, Zayn versus Strowman would be the long term, though. That's the one I would prefer. I would prefer if Sami Zayn toppled Strowman versus Sami Zayn toppled Roman Reigns, if that makes sense. Just personally. That's just me. Other matches we haven't really got a chance to fully dive into. The Usos versus the New Day, right? Great tag teams. Two of the best. Absolutely tear the house down. Can't stop them. But are they facing at Mania? If we go back, Hawkeye, thanks for the host, man. I appreciate it. If we go back to right before Royal Rumble, so the pay-per-view right before, I got to open this up, is not Clash of Champions, before Clash of Champions. Come on. And before Survivor Series. So at Clash of Champions, Dolph Ziggler beat Baron Corbin and Bobby Roode, right, for the title. He won the title. This was Dolph winning the mid-card like he always has in his career. If you guys are... What? Did he just beat him? He beat him. Okay. All right. I would be okay with that. It doesn't make the Royal Rumble winner look very good going into WrestleMania, but I would be fine with that. Revival versus the Usos. I want the Revival versus the Usos. The Revival gets psychology tag team wrestling, but I think the Bar does too. I think the Bar is a great example of two guys getting thrown together back in the Mick Foley days, when we all said we knew better and we didn't want to end up in a tag team and it's going to suck. And now they're one of the top tag teams, if not the top tag team. The Usos are performing better right now than they ever have in their entire career. The Usos are the top dogs of the tag team division on SmackDown. And then the top dogs, I would put the Usos above the Bar. If I had to pick, if I had to choose who was better, I would put the Usos over them, because unfortunately the teams that have gone up against the Usos have hurt them a little bit. But as far as the Usos themselves, I don't think there's a better tag team right now besides the Revival, whose body of work this year stood out. So to go back to New Day versus the Usos, they're going to tear down the house. But are the New Day going to win? That's a big question mark. Because you have the Bludgeon Brothers, you have the Ascension, you have Breezango. But then when the push comes to shove, you go back to the 2 tag teams that carried the division. Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos wouldn't really make sense. But the Usos carrying the tag team division the entire year. But then when push came to shove, New Day steals it from them and you get like New Day versus Bludgeon or something like that. The Usos could have a chip on their shoulder. Could we have a multi-person match? That's a very good question. If I had to pick one match tonight that I was actually a little like, I could see this going any different way, it would probably be the tag team match. Because in the tag team match, pretty much anything could happen. There's no real rhyme or reason for who has to be the champion. Do I not have Sarah Logan downloaded? I don't have Sarah Logan downloaded. I could have swore we downloaded. Oh, yeah, we do have Sarah Logan. She's just, for some reason, she's not in order alphabetically. Let me put Charlotte's title on really fast. Do you think Asuka will make an appearance tonight? Possibly. I would be fine with that. I want her to come out. Like I said, I would prefer if Ruby Riott won tonight. Hate me if you want to, but I want Ruby Riott to win. I absolutely want Ruby Riott to win. Will she win? Probably not. But that's what I want. Just personally. I think it would be a huge stunner. I mean, Charlotte is Mrs. WrestleMania. Do I call her Mrs. WrestleMania? On the grandest stage, she is the caliber. Like, Bayley won last year. But she's high up on the pedestal, right? She's got that family pedigree. Her losing in a shocker to Ruby Riott, I would love it. Because then, again, it opens up, I think it would open up a 6-women match at WrestleMania, which would allow more performers for SmackDown. That's the only reason I want Ruby to win, is to have more performers from SmackDown get a chance to wrestle for the title. But at the same time, I'm guessing fans would say, which I probably would too, they don't have any writing, so they're just throwing a match with like 6 people together. That's fair. That's fine. But that's what I would like to see, because I think they all deserve it, and I want Becky Lynch to steal it. I want Becky Lynch to be the person that comes in and takes it from her. Just me personally. Riott will not win. People seem pretty defiant about that, and like I said, there was very good reason for Charlotte to win. This is exactly like AJ Styles. The deck is stacked against him. Roman Reigns, the deck was stacked against him. The question is, how do you make Ruby then look great? Because Ruby's going up against Charlotte, who stacking 3-on-1 against Charlotte makes her look even better for Asuka. It makes her built even more, because if you remember on Raw, Asuka and Absolution had that weird stare off where Absolution surrounded the ring and Asuka just kind of let her do her thing. And Asuka just kind of got out. It seemed like she was organizing it. So to have, when people got called lazy booking, when you had Riott Squad and Absolution is righting a wrong, is what the term means. Riott Squad is just Ruby Riott, obviously. But like Absolution is you're righting a wrong and you're kind of like looking after Asuka. Here tonight, if Ruby Riott loses, nothing wrong with that, right? She just got called up. Getting called up too fast might be an issue. Paige did it. Paige came up and won the title right away. But it's Charlotte's title going into Mania, right? Like it's got to be Charlotte's title going into Mania. So prediction-wise, I'm going to say Charlotte wins. But I would hope, personally, Ruby Riott gets the victory here to accomplish 2 different things. Transitions to Ruby Riott. And then the pay-per-view after, I want Ruby Riott versus... Because I think Charlotte's going to Raw. That's why I think she's dropping the title at some point. But Johnny from New Legacy's like, brother, that's exactly why Asuka beats her for the title at WrestleMania, you dumbass, because Asuka's on Raw. True. Personally, I want Ruby Riott versus Becky Lynch. That's my hope. Why? No idea. But I want Becky Lynch versus Ruby Riott. And I only see that happening if Ruby wins tonight, Ruby loses at Mania to Becky Lynch, and then we get Becky Lynch versus Ruby Riott. I think that'd be cool, personally. Asuka can face Rousey at SummerSlam. If I'm betting money, Ronda versus Asuka, Mania 35, Ronda wins. I would have Ember Moon break Asuka's streak. Ember's awesome, right? You can save that. WWE can go back to that. WWE is building their catalog in NXT. They're doing the gimmick, right? They're making a name for themselves. You build up that catalog, so it's like Triple H does that slow build, just like Vince does in NXT. You only see the people in NXT enough to get a highlight reel, right? You only see them there enough for... I honestly, I think Triple H looks at the pay-per-view, finds his 5 matches, and then when you're booking NXT, you get them just on TV enough to build that highlight package. So you're not overexposing them. You're not having pointless matches. You're able to protect everybody. You're able to use your TV to get everybody over. You don't need them in week in after week out unless you're like Velveteen Dream, who's winning matches and is on that gimmick. Tonight with Charlotte and Ruby Riott, I would be shocked, and I will be the first one to... Maybe I'll run around the apartment complex screaming if Ruby Riott wins. I would hope so. That's just me personally. Kairi Sane to beat Asuka's streak. There's a lot of people, man. The fact that we're talking about who could possibly beat Asuka's streak is awesome. Like, that's... Asuka's streak is a thing. And that's what I'm talking about when I say if Asuka's got this streak, and we know if she becomes champion, that streak, she's going to continuously win. Or, you know, there is a thing. Does she need to have the title and the streak at the same time, was my point. You could keep them separate, right? The streak could almost be a thing just like Taker, in my head. So to see Charlotte and Asuka, I would prefer it non-title. I would prefer somebody like, maybe if whoever wins next year's Royal Rumble, like Ember Moon, she could choose to get redemption on Asuka and her streak instead of going for the title. That's what, like, when I think the Royal Rumble winner, wow, that was quick. That's not what I wanted to have happen. Ruby, if Ember Moon wins next year's Royal Rumble, and she can choose to, I want retribution on Asuka, and she avoids the title, they can flash back to that. Does it make sense? No. But that's like what I would hope. Something like that, where if you combine the streak and the title, I feel you take away 2 storylines. I feel like you take away the title and you take away the streak, but then at the same time, the streak and the title mean more, right? Like, if Goldberg had won the title at 10-0 and up to 200, 180 plus matches, you knew he was always going to win. Goldberg still did his thing without the title. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's, I don't see. God, I just want Ruby Riott to win. I got to stop marking out for Ruby Riott because that's what's happening right now. I just want Ruby to win. I'm buying into it. Even though I know Charlotte's going to win, I'm buying into the options of Ruby Riott winning. Like, just in my head, I bought into this 100%. I bought in. Rousey has ways to go before she'll get into the title picture. Exactly. So Ronda has got to do her thing too, right? She doesn't want any special favors. She slow builds. Asuka's got the title. You can like keep those people like worlds apart. Just imagine if Nakamura wins at Mania, the following SmackDown, Johnny Gargano comes out. Right? I don't see how you can be upset as a WWE fan right now. Maybe you don't like the weekly shows, and that's what makes you upset. But like, which is fine. But with all the potential matchups, everything that could possibly go down, like just thinking of all the talent, WWE has not had this much talent self-built from NXT from the ground up in so long. When is the last time heading into a WrestleMania, that Elimination Chamber match that happened, Elimination Chamber, when was the last time in WWE, whether you like the weekly shows, you don't like Vince McMahon, you want Triple H to take over, who cares? When is the last time in WrestleMania or WWE history everybody in that Elimination Chamber was a valiant challenger to Brock Lesnar? Maybe minus Elias Sampson. Minus Elias, who I love to death. Possibly not realistically, just because he hasn't won for the title. He hasn't been a part of it. That's a huge deal. Heading into this match on SmackDown, Styles, KO, Sami Zayn. WWE, focusing on the personalities, has more marketable superstars than I think ever before. And that's what I think really drives the hating on the writing more, in my opinion. Because you have all these guys, and you could literally do anything with, and gals, women, and you get a little frustrated with what they're doing. I could see that. Because somebody like Ruby Riott comes in, Becky Lynch is not there. I have to imagine people that are fans of Becky and Carmella and Naomi and Natalya feel like, oh God, they're just coming up. Personally, I want her to win. They have so much potential. WWE does. So whether they write, down the road, hopefully, we talk about writing, hopefully they write it good, because it's really hard right now based on who they have, the superstars they have, the amount of people they've signed, that if one of those guys get injured, if anybody from 2000, in my opinion, from 2009 to 2013 had gotten injured, like if a Daniel Bryan or CM Punk got injured, or if any of those top guys, because there may have been 5 bankable superstars, that's it in the entire company. Between maybe, Brock wasn't at that point, but Cena, Orton, maybe Punk, Daniel Bryan was starting to be, and that was about it. You had 4 people. Now you have Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. You have AJ Styles. You have Nakamura. You have, of course, John Cena still there. You have so many people that just get you really excited for WWE. So that's why, it's hard to be miserable, man. It really is. He could be a future champion. That's the typical norms of what I would always complain about, back when we were really doing YouTube full time, was looking at, he should have won here tonight. How many of us had said Braun should have been champion already, and he has yet to hold the title, and he's over? That's fascinating to me. That's why I like talking about it and discussing it now, is because I was one of those people that said this had to happen. So if you go back to SummerSlam, though, or Survivor Series, sorry, Charlotte beat Alexa Bliss by submission, which is a big deal. Nakamura beat Cena on TV, but then Cena beat Styles. So Nakamura versus Styles has another layer to it storytelling-wise for WrestleMania. Asuka winning the Rumble, and she has to choose who to face. Why would she face Alexa Bliss unless she wants the easier path? Because if you're Asuka, you saw Charlotte Flair defeat Alexa Bliss. Charlotte's the bigger challenge for Asuka. The question is, does Asuka want the bigger challenge? What does Asuka even want? Asuka's just, I win. What does Asuka really want? Because if you look at the actual TV and the pay-per-views, Charlotte beat Alexa. Alexa now, I think the TV storyline for her is more about best friends. It's about Nia Jax. It's about Mickie James. I would prefer, me personally, would prefer Mickie James, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, and possibly a triple threat or a singles match become the focus, personally. And then I do Charlotte, Asuka non-title. Maybe as dumb as that sounds, that's what I would do. Just going back to Survivor Series, because she's already got the win on her. What else have we not touched on? I was going back to look at the tag team matches to see when the last time the tag team titles were actually swapping to everybody else, and I can't find anything. This is so the last time the tag team titles, they had a fatal 4-way. The Usos defeated the New Day, Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin, Rusev, and Aiden English. If you had asked me a long time ago, I would have said I wanted Chad and Shelton to win at Mania. In my head, I wanted Usos versus Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. Is it still possible? Yes. But you also have the Bludgeon Brothers now. There's a lot of... I'm kind of I don't know what direction they could go in. It legitimately is... I want the Usos versus Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. I think they could tear down the house, but at the same time, I want New Day as well. In the ring, Charlotte retains, though. So, Ruby, my booking, I'm sorry. I tried to give you the fantasy booking bump. I tried to come in. I tried to help you out, and it didn't work. Bradley, Braun is the new Ryback. Now, Braun is better than Ryback. Nothing against Ryback. I loved Ryback. I loved Ryan. But Braun has got so many different levels before even winning a title. He's got the super serious, beat everybody up. He's got the phase, putting through people through tables. He's got to get these hands phase. He's got the guy that he can break out in comedy and start running around the ring and chasing people. He's got that's what Braun is. He's established so many different personalities and character traits for his on-screen persona that he's so versatile, he can do anything. And that's rare in WWE. It's rare to be so versatile to be able to do anything. And that's the best thing about Braun's build. Whether you think he should have a title or not, you can't deny Braun's over. You just can't. Braun's awesome. Hey, Steve, how you doing, man? She wants the bigger challenge. So it'd be Charlotte. Because Charlotte's beat Alexa Bliss, straight up. You know, even on the B show, Charlotte's over on the B show. So it makes sense. But then what do the women on SmackDown do? I think that's where the ninth wonder of the world Battle Royal comes in. I think this is the year WWE announces the women's Battle Royale. If I was a betting man, I would call it the ninth wonder of the world Battle Royale. And I would name it after China. That's what I would do. And that sounds stupid. Like, that's what I would do because I'm not the company, but I would want a battle royale for them. I think that'd be cool. True equality all the way around. All right, let's set up the so we got the tag team match. So let's set up tag teams. 2-on-2 normal tag team match. We will do computers. So New Day. Who's fighting for New Day, by the way? It's... Oh, so you don't know. The fabulous... the Freebird rule. You don't know who's going to be... let's just say it's going to be Xavier Woods. I'm going to say it's going to be Big E and Xavier tonight. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I see... Or Kofi Xavier. I think Xavier's gotten the push tremendously, and that's what I would want. Likewise, I would love to see Xavier Woods fight for the U.S. title at Mania. I would love that. Let's do Big E with Xavier Woods with Kofi Kingston as the manager this time. So Xavier Woods and then Kofi Kingston as the manager. There we go. Versus the Usos. Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. So let me go get Jay. Put in the day one-ish gear. Superstars, Jimmy Uso. But bam. Throw on the titles really fast. I would like to see China's Battle Royale, personally. I think she's the name that defied everything. She's the one that broke down the barriers. Like Fabulous Moolah, like there's so many Mae Young that got to that point. But China broke down the barriers. Whether you look at her history or not, she broke down the barriers like Andre the Giant did. And that's what I would want. Personally, that's just me. Let's put one finisher on. Fast Lane except for the tag team titles. Let's put the SmackDown tag team title. I'm pretty sure the Usos are my champions. Yeah, they are. Okay. All right, let's start this matchup. Yeah, that's. I feel like a lot of people get that the battle royals don't really mean anything. That you're fighting for a trophy. You've got Mojo winning, who really never did anything. It kind of provides those WrestleMania moments. Because I said last year, I pictured Gronk in the WWE at some point, and it kind of looks like we're going that way now. Goldberg in the battle royale. Come on, my man. I don't see that rumor coming true. At least me personally. I don't see that happening. What other matches have we not touched on so far? The Usos New Day, which is what's on the screen now. Have I made a prediction for that one? I want the Usos to retain. I want to close the door on this chapter, and I want some other team to come up and beat the Usos at Mania. But you don't have enough time for Authors of Pain. You don't have enough time to call anybody up in 3 weeks to build them. So, and can you get Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin up to that point to challenge them? I don't know. I think if you're going to do the representation of WrestleMania, you do the New Day versus the Usos. And there's a very good chance maybe the SmackDown Tag Team titles, with as many matches as there's rumored to be on the card, maybe they don't even get the opportunity. Because if I'm the New Day, you had to have fun hosting WrestleMania. But I think you would have rather wrestled at WrestleMania. Yeah, well, it's the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos is kind of what I had in my mind, personally. But I think the Bludgeon Brothers would have to be chasing the New Day. Because that would technically, are they heel? They're just big guys, so maybe they're not heels. But Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos. It's their yard. It's their penitentiary. Yeah, the penitentiary. Like, I don't know. I honestly, this is one where I could see it going either way. I could see either one of these tag teams winning. I really don't care who wins this match. You want to see the Usos versus the Young Bucks? It's like they don't show up for the bar; they show up for the Usos. Like the Young Bucks both teams put out an open challenge, right? So at first, the Young Bucks come out and challenge the bar. Then the Usos have an open challenge, and again, the Young Bucks come out and beat them. And in the same night, the SmackDown and the Raw tag team titles are around the waist of the Young Bucks. Give it to me. Give it to me. I'll take it. I'll take it all day. You know that. I 100% would go for that. As you see the Usos coming out. I would love that. I think that'd be sweet, man. Personally. Triple threat. Nick New Bludgeon Brothers. Usos versus New Day. Yeah, there's a lot they could do. And that's like... Even I'm stumped, man. I kind of just want the Raw and SmackDown to come already. Like, I already want this pay-per-view to be done with tonight. And I want to know what the match is so I can stop going, I wish this would happen. I wish that would happen. I just want it to happen already, essentially. Is what I would like to see. I just want it to be done with. I want to see this match and be done with it. I want to know what's happening, man, because all this uncertainty. We didn't have this much uncertainty in the last 5 years. When I've been covering WWE, when I've been doing predictions, I have not had this much. I mean, yeah, you can say Styles is going to retain easily. You can say Charlotte's going to retain. But storyline-wise, to me, at least watching the TV show, it's kind of unpredictable. It may not seem unpredictable if you're watching it just as knowing who Charlotte and AJ Styles are, but a big opportunity here for Xavier Woods. Big opportunity for the Usos to again tear down the house. I could see this match going 35. Maybe this is why we don't have as many matches on the card. Usos versus New Day probably goes 20 minutes. 25 minutes. It's probably a long match. So the Usos get the WrestleMania moment, but lose to the Bludgeon Brothers. The Bludgeon Boys. Yeah, I want the matches so I can stop fantasy booking. Because at this point, by now in any other year, we would already kind of know the matches, or they would start to get thrown together. And here, logically, there's just many different paths they could go. But like all year, you've had this match. Like, I wasn't expecting this match on pay-per-view. Like, I thought they put the nail in the coffin. But if you look at all the matches they've had, they continue to tear down the house. I would still hope for the Revival, man. I want the Revival versus the Usos so bad. I would just... Maybe this is just because I'm a big Revival mark. If you watch their NXT tag team matches, it was always unpredictable whether they were going to win. When you watched American Alpha versus the Revival, the psychology that went into their matches made you believe somebody could or couldn't win. I'll see you later, Wallace. And that's an interesting point in WWE, to actually be there. So my prediction for this match, I'm going to go ahead and say the Usos... No, I'm giving the titles to the New Day. I think the New Day, hosting last year, deserved their Mania moment. I think the New Day deserves it. Give me a 2 out of 3 falls match, New Day versus the Usos. Let them tear down the house at WrestleMania and just set the tag team division apart, because you want to put the absolute best on knowing an invading tag team is coming in, like the Authors of Pain. like the Young Bucks, whoever, like whatever tag team comes in, you know, because you can't be junior heavyweight tag team champions. You got to be over 205 because you don't want the Young Bucks ending up on 205 Live. They could do maybe they could do an open challenge as well. Maybe we could get the Usos versus the Bar. I would be fine with that 100%. If I got the Usos versus the Bar, yes. Give me the Usos versus the Bar. And the Revival accept it. I would like to see them both do it though. Like the not knowing who's. I think that'd be hard to sell. But last year you had the Hardys come back and win. They were not advertised. The big pop happened, and then the fans loved it because of the Hardy Boys. You want to use that pop to get people as over as possible. I think that would be cool. Likewise, I could see Austin Aries coming back to the WWE after like being the belt collector and then showing up at WWE with every single belt he's ever collected. We joked about that with the Hardys last year because the Hardys won every tag team belt from every company last year. ROH, everybody, before they ended up dropping them all before they re-signed with WWE. They put in work. They beat the crap out of them. Let's say the Usos beat New Day in like a 27-minute match. Usos brag on a post-match and reveal that they're the best tag team ever and issue a WrestleMania challenge. And the Bludgeon Brothers come out. There's a lot they could do. Like I said, I can't even fantasy book this, man. I just want to watch this. And I haven't had that as a pay-per-view in a long time. Like, on paper, the card maybe doesn't look that good, but just not knowing for me personally what could possibly happen is a big deal. Like, to me, it makes sense. To me, it's like, even if we kind of have an idea of where they're going, it's the journey that matters, not how you... Wait, what's the slogan? It's how you get there, not to... Whatever. So, final predictions that I'm going to throw down. Fast Lane tonight. Personal predictions versus actual, like, predictions. What I want to have happen is this. Tonight, what I want to have happen would be Natalya and Carmella to get the win. I want Natalya and Carmella to win. I want Carmella to look dominant because I think she fails to cash in. Nakamura versus Rusev. It would make no sense, but I personally want Rusev to win. Personally, I want him to win. Charlotte versus Ruby Riott. Personally, I want Ruby Riott to win. Usos versus the New Day. Personally, I want the New Day to win. Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton. I want Randy Orton to win. And last but not least, I want John Cena to win. But with the caveat that I want John Cena to win, but I want AJ Styles to beat him 2 weeks in a row on SmackDown and close the door. I want the last thing going through the minds of people before Nakamura versus Styles at WrestleMania is big match John couldn't get the job done when the chips were on the line, when the fans' dream match was on the line. Because I think you could build this up. I think if Cena wins on Sunday and Cena proclaims his match, and maybe you have Taker, whatever, but then you have AJ fighting for the crowd's dream match. So you can turn Styles against Cena in a way that it's like, no, John, this is bullshit. You come in at the last minute, you get added this match, you beat me. I want to face you. I'm not waiting for my rematch. I want my rematch now. I want the rematch. I want it. And then in front of everybody, big match John loses the title to AJ Styles on free TV. And then the gong can hit the next week. And then you can give us Nakamura, Styles, and Cena versus Taker. Personally, I would love that. Because you make the big match John thing a big deal. You make the TV thing a big deal. You still get the dream match, but I want Styles to fight for that dream match. Nakamura already did the hard work by winning the Rumble. Now give me that. Actual predictions, though. Styles. Randy Orton. Usos. Charlotte. Nakamura. And Becky and Naomi. So, a mix of personal, just for what, if I had the chance to write it, that's what I would want to have happen. because WWE really is in this position of, I don't think they could do anything wrong to kind of tick me off, knowing the potential. Like, if we started getting all these dream matches and they start falling flat, I may complain. Yeah, Finn Balor and Seth versus The Miz. You could have a 6-person United States Championship match. I would be fine with a ladder match. And if I'm being 100% honest, if we got a United States Championship match in a 6-man for the title at WrestleMania, I want Xavier Woods to win the United States Championship in front of the entire roster, in front of the entire world at WrestleMania. If I could book anything, I have the Usos win tonight. I have Xavier Woods getting into into the United States Championship match, and I have Xavier Woods winning the title. That would be, your boy deserves it. Xavier Woods definitely deserves it. Because you can hold off Taker. If Cena Taker is a dream match, do you really need to promote it? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you have to have that match? Do you need to know a month ahead of time? For promotion-wise, sure. But they've already laid down the thing. Cena already laid down the TV against Roman Reigns. Because if you remember when they rushed Roman Reigns versus John Cena, John said on the screen, "You took down Taker," and I had fantasy tweeted, well, no, Taker, the gong could hit, and he could be like, "Who said I was retired, John?" or something like that. So I still want the match to happen. If we do get Cena Taker, I want American Badass Taker, though, by the way. I don't want straight up Undertaker. As we got the hot tag, as Big E rolls out of the ring. Uh-oh. Xavier, I got to watch this match, because this is going to be it. This is the end. Let's see if Xavier Woods can do it. Is Xavier Woods the boy going to do it? The pay-per-view starts tonight, what is it, 5 o'clock, so it's going to start about 2 hours. I still don't know if we have a pre-show yet. Have they announced a pre-show yet? That's exactly what you wanted for Xavier Woods? That's what I would have hoping. That's what I would have, personally. I would love to see Kofi and Big E versus maybe the Usos, and then I want Xavier Woods to go win the U.S. title. I want the New Day to have the tag team titles and the United States Championship all in their grasp. And then I want them to freebird all 3 titles. Personally, that would be sick, in my opinion. That's just me. I'd love to see it. Xavier Woods, I hope you bring it, boy. I hope you come out and make it, because he's one of the nicest dudes ever. Xavier Woods, he truly deserves it. Absolutely does. Like, he came around, like, every time when we're at the playtest, coming around introducing himself. Xavier Woods is the homie. Let's see if he gets it. 1, 2, and he didn't break it up, so the New Day wins in game. The New Day get the victory. Xavier Woods gets the W. The whole pay-per-view is a pre-show, Toby. No, come on. It's going to be a good show. This is the pay-per-view that you're not expecting to be good, but all the matches tonight, I think, will make people go, okay, good pay-per-view. Nothing to write home about because it was predictable when Styles and Charlotte win. Predictable, of course. It's Charlotte and AJ Styles. The 2 biggest people in the company on that side winning. So it shouldn't be a surprise. That'd be like getting upset and be like, it's predictable that Stone Cold Steve Austin won. Well, that's who he is. He's the top dog. So there's the titles. New Day win the titles, guys. I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for joining the show. I hope you enjoy Fastlane tonight. Like I said, my boy CM Pulse will be having his post-show. Or not the post-show. He'll be doing the IG show too, I think. But the live show with him. You guys can go check that out. Highly recommended. There's going to be thousands of people watching my boy CM Pulse tonight. CM Pulse, probably the best gimmick going as far as live pay-per-views go. There's not a better live watching experience. So I think that's where we're going to end the show right now. I appreciate you guys coming out. Hope you enjoyed. Went for a little over an hour and 20 minutes as we finish this up, man. The main event's going to be insane. 6-man. Now, just know this. John Cena predicted it. He said, I'm spoiling it for you right now. I'm going to be the 17-time champion. And if he does win, don't lose hope. I think Big Match John loses the AJ Styles on SmackDown. And we still get Nakamura versus Styles. As a writer. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that was watching. DC, Caleb, Ali, Chris, Cameron, KPN, Thanks everybody that's watching on Twitch. This is dual stream, so we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure to there's a link in the description for my Twitch page. Go follow my Twitch page if you want to support that. We have emoticons. We have emotes over on Twitch. So if you watch a lot of Twitch, I have the emu payoff emote and then the emu what emote, which is my face like when Tubby's spewing some bullshit. You can hit it with the what. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. And like I said, check out my boy. It's Rusev Day. It's Rusev Day. And we will see you all later. Huh.